Hello, hello. Happy Thursday, everyone. Happy Jupiter Day. Hello. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. And if not, I hope it gets better from here. So I'm going to jump straight into this. I have something I need to do after this live. So we're going to try to make this to the point, efficient. So first and foremost, the channeled song I got for today was Trust Fall by Pink. And signs and synchronicities that this read is for you is the stone jasper, Aquarius, butterfly, ducks. You might have a cracked screen, the number 1818, Tommy Hilfiger, diamonds. You might be born in the month of April or your name is April, Aphrodite, Aries, Taurus. You might also have plantar fasciitis. Your name could be Michael as well. We also have the number 211, and you could have played Mortal Kombat once upon a time. So, let's see what's going on with the collective today. Hello, everyone. Hi. If you hear any noises in the background, that's my kiddo living his best life. Don't worry about him. So, let's see what house the collective read is in today. Looks like it's in hopes and goals, and let's see what sign it's in for the sign of Aquarius. There's that Aquarius. Oh, 1111. That's crazy. See? We rolled 11 for Aquarius, and we rolled 11 for the house today. 1111. So we're manifesting. That's the number of manifestation for sure. So, what are we manifesting? It's definitely got something to do with our hopes and dreams. And I'm going to grab some runes here for extra details because we're all nosy, including myself. I want to know all the tea, all the chisme. How are you all doing today? Let me know. I love hearing from you guys. Let's see. Shuffle, shuffle. This energy is interesting because it's like I got plantar fasciitis, right? Showing up here, which often talks about carrying too much weight, needing to ground, feeling stuck, fear of moving forward, and or struggle with control issues. So there's something going on there. We have Isa for ice or stillness, a period of stillness. And then we have Wunyo for joy. Stillness and joy. Hello, thank you so much for your likes. Thanks for being here, everybody. Stillness and joy. Oh yeah, you can find joy in the stillness of things. Is that what we're trying to manifest? Is a little bit of joy, some peace? Let's see. I want to get into some charms as well for a little extra details before I pop over into the tarot and the oracle. So I'm going to look away because I don't want to influence what I get here. And try not to break your poor eardrums. Let's see. These. Oh, interesting. So we have the dog. Someone may have a pet passed over, or you just like dogs. We have, oh, you could also be a year of the dog person as well. We have the owl for some wisdom here. You may also resonate with the deity Athena. We have the diamond. I got diamonds earlier. So diamond for some strength. Yeah, it represents strength, purity, resilience, and we might also be trying to manifest some money and stuff like that. And then we have this beautiful little crystal ball here. I seem to get this one all the time, and it represents intuition, following the intuition. So there may be an intuitive pull at this time to pause, which makes sense. We're currently in that Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, but today there's like a special lining up that is supposed to be a bit of a break from all of the chaotic stuff happening. So let's get into tarot. Which one of my decks wants to speak today? Marigold wishes to talk today, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Someone, yeah, like There's definitely a sense here of, with 1818 that came up earlier, you have been making some good judgment calls lately, and you are achieving some progress. Yeah, it's like having some faith that what you're trying to manifest is coming in. But I see the need for grounding. So grabbing some jasper could be good. Grounding techniques can also be things like doing the breathing exercise of 4 breaths in, pause for 4 seconds, 4 breaths out. You can also look into what your moon sign is in your natal chart and seeing what grounding techniques resonate with those. That usually will help. And that will get you into your body and focused on the present so that you're not worried about when your manifestations come in or fearing losing things that have come in for you. Thank you so much for the likes. So, what's going on with the collective today regarding their hopes and goals? What are they trying to manifest right now? Let's be nosy. Send your energy in so that I can connect. Let's get that connection going here. Oh, I see someone feels like life isn't very fair. Let's see. Tell me more, please. What's going on with the collective today? What is this stillness and joy? That really feels like grounding energy, though. Usually you find joy in the current moment, but in order to enjoy the current moment, you have to pause. What's going on with the collective here today? Oh, we're being a little tight-lipped. Okay. Are we being a little private at this time? That whole moving in silence, is that what we're doing? Maybe these manifestations, we're not talking about them. Actually, that's really wise. That's actually a really good practice. Okay, we have 4 of Cups here in the reversed. Okay, so we're leaving behind a feeling of being bored. That's funny. I just saw the name A Sacred Pause, and that's literally what this is, a sacred pause. That's hilarious. 4 of Cups reversed talks about leaving behind boredom. Hi, R, welcome in. So leaving behind boredom. Maybe we've been bored for a long time, but now we're kind of reframing how we look at boredom. Ooh, interesting. Tell me more. Tell me more. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your likes, comments, shares. Thank you. Just thank you. Oh, I'm so glad. I was really worried about it, but I'm really, really glad. Perfect. Awesome. If you ever do get a personal reading by me, you can leave a review in the shop. That helps support me so much more than you even realize. But yeah, I'm so glad. Thank you to your friend as well for trusting me. I love being able to do this for people. I love helping people. So like being trusted to give someone a personal read is such an incredible honor. Tell me more about this leaving boredom behind with our hopes and goals, because I see you manifesting and there's like a desire to try to, it's kind of like realizing that in order to, yeah, thank you. It's this energy of looking at boredom and realizing that boredom is needed in order to be creative. Yeah, you're your most creative when you get bored. Like reframing our mindset around that. Yes. Well, right now we have a pause in joy. So this may be a good time to pause and just sit in that stillness. Tell me more, Spirit. We're being a little tight-lipped here. They're not here to stare at me shuffling cards. Thank you. This Knight of Wands energy in the reversed. And I see the Temperance. Oh, okay. So yeah, the desire to do something. We want to take action, but if we just go with no like thought on where we go, we have the tendency to kind of go recklessly, like reckless abandon, but not in the way of, help me find my word, Spirit. It's like wanting to do something, so you just do the first thing that comes to mind, but the energy kind of goes all over the place. We have the temperance. So right now there's a balancing of this, right? We have this desire. Yeah. You see me stumbling over my words? Okay. Yes, Mercury's in the microwave, but that's also representative here of we so badly don't want to be bored and stagnant that we're trying to just do anything. We're trying to get the ball rolling, but that's not the point right now. Because then you'll just trip all over yourself. You'll trip over your words. You won't think things through. You'll trip over yourself, and that might cause issues. So that's the point. They're telling you to relax. Yeah, like temperance. You see how he's pouring from one thing to another? That's a balancing. That's trying to just bring that. It's like it's good to be motivated to do something, but you have to figure out what you even want to do. Yes, exactly. Sometimes we have to move a bit slower approach. Yeah, remember the tortoise and the hare. Slow and steady. It is absolutely beautiful to have the motivation to do things, to have drive, to have ambition, but sometimes you need to move at a slower pace. Yeah, because sometimes when you're in that hurried energy, it's kind of like, if I don't get the ball rolling, I'll lose my motivation. What you mean? What you mean? There you go. Yes, that's actually a beautiful idea, R. And to anyone else who's thinking on that, if you have a lot of anxiety, if you have a lot of energy, that you just need to get out, a good grounding practice, especially if you're someone who has Aries in your chart, is getting the body moving. So finding a way to do that in a way that feels good to you in order to get all that excess energy out. 4747 just showed up, and that adds up to 26, I believe, if my math is right. 7 plus 7 is 14. 4 plus 4 is 8. 25. Excuse me. That's 25, which adds to 7, which is luck and spirituality. Yeah. So, like, sometimes meditation can also be working out because you're getting grounded into your body. So it can be doing activities at the gym. It could be dancing. Whatever it is that kind of gets you more into your body. And you'll find that you have a clearer head because you're giving yourself something to do in the meantime, right? You're utilizing that energy, and you might even be able to think of your next steps at that time. Yes. Especially if you have Aries in the 4th house in your natal chart, exercise is extremely good for you. Not just because of health benefits, but because it's a very grounding practice. And I would know that because that's in my house. That's in my 4th house. And I do know that when I do exercise, I tend to calm down a little bit. Yeah, death. Okay, yeah. So this is a change we're currently making, right? I always love seeing this because it's such a funny... This looks so intense, but it's literally like spirit. Oh, thank you. When I see this, it's funny to me because this actually means like cut the excuses, and it's coming for the mouth. So for me, this is a hilarious card to see because my guides are funny. They are little pranksters and jokesters, right? But that's what Spirit's trying to do, right? They're trying to help you with this transformation process. So you may be someone who has a ton of energy, but you're not sure where to direct it. And they're trying to get you to the point where you're balancing it out. And usually when we have excessive energy, it can also turn into overthinking, spiralizing, too much in the head. So you're welcome. I'm really glad. Yeah, I'm not joking around. I tap into you guys. Yes, it does look like excuses. They're what we tell ourselves in order to validate the reasons why we are staying where we're at. And no one wants to hear that, you know. No one wants to hear you're making a bunch of excuses. But if your friend was telling you the same stuff, hi Taylor, you would be telling them that they're making up excuses, right? It's what it is. It's harder to admit it when it's yourself. Yeah. So we do have this transformation process. They're trying to balance you out. They're trying to help you figure out how to apply this motivation and drive for change in order to apply that energy where you actually want it to go. Yes. And yeah, it's good to have that ruthless energy, but sometimes ruthlessness can show up in destructive patterns. So trying to put our energy somewhere, we need a place to put it. So start with what you can control right now, which is the body, finding something that grounds you into your body so that instead of over intellectualizing, overthinking, you can actually be calm and start thinking on your next steps. Hi, hello. I'm really glad you're doing good, Taylor. I was worried. I hadn't seen you in a while. We have the Eight of Swords in reverse. Yes, so we're leaving. Yeah, we're leaving that mental prison by doing this. This little sacred pause here, this stillness, is you balancing out this need to change, but without that plan. It's helping you leave the mind prison of, I need to change, there's something wrong with me, I need to change, but I don't know how to change, so I'm just going to change every single thing all at once, right? And we have the Tower here too, and this is really good. This is good. You are changing this pattern. People see the Tower and they freak out, right? Thank you so much. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. All it means is the foundation crumbling. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, this inner conflict, these lies that we tell ourselves relates to the mental prison, right? It's breaking the foundations around the lies we tell ourselves about the fact that life will always be depressing and we'll always be stuck in the same cycles and the same circumstances, right? So we're definitely, yeah, especially around Seven of Swords. Yes. So yeah, inner arguments, inner lies that we tell ourselves that we learned from somewhere else. We didn't just make them up on our own, but we've kind of cemented them into our person. And that manifests as, I need to change, but we don't know where. So we just start with something, and oftentimes that can become very destructive. So we are currently allowing that tower, those foundations to crumble. And that's going to lead us into properly putting our energy into ourselves where it belongs. Perfect. I love to see that. Just readjusting here so I have room. There you go. Well, I did get, you didn't see the charms earlier, but I did get this little diamond here, and diamonds were relevant in synchronicities. So if this is hopes and goals and finances is also what you're trying to change, this is relevant. Yeah, we have the Hanged Man. So you are shifting your perspective, changing your perspective on what do I do when I'm bored? What do I do with all this energy and desire for change? Yes, love to see it. Perfect. Yes. That's beautiful. This is good. This is a beautiful moment for you. And today's the perfect day for it. I know that I'll post the video later, and it's whenever you receive it is whenever you receive it. But for those of you who are here in the live, tuning in right now, today is the day where that Mercury retrograde in Scorpio lines up with this new moon in Scorpio, right? Transformative energy, big changes. It also, this is the day where those two kind of line up, and there's one more celestial body lining up with it. I don't remember which one it is, but it is making a positive shift, a very refreshing change that you've been grappling with since Mercury retrograde started back in Sagittarius in our optimism. So we moved from this struggle with maintaining our optimism into actually making that lasting change. We're sitting in it right now. And that should be over by the 29th. So you should start feeling lighter by December 1st. Yes. Tell me more, and then I'll move on, because I have plans. Let's see. Yeah, it's like, we have so many planets in retrograde right now. It's kind of funny. And I was writing them all down because I want to keep that in mind as I do readings. Knight of Cups. Oh dear. We're a little bit, yeah, it's got us a bit in our head still. We're still feeling a type of way about it. So yeah, it's definitely that I feel like I'm not really progressing. So I might feel a way about it. It might cause me to be a bit moody at this time. That's part of this retrograde as well, is that we're in our feelings pretty heavy, especially since Jupiter went into retrograde. That deals in heavy feelings. Aw, thank you, R. I'm working through it. I'm part of this collective. I'm working through my own healing processes, but I do try to find my happiness, same as you guys. Some of these messages really hit home for me as well, so trust. Trust that when I am yelling at you on the screen, I'm also yelling at me. This is not a personal reading. This is a collective read. If you would like a personal reading, I offer that at the link in my bio. Feel free to check me out. I don't like doing personals on live because I personally feel like your business should stay yours, not for everyone to hear about, you know? And that's why. It just doesn't sit right with me as a reader, and I just don't like doing it. If that's not for you, that's totally fine. The Emperor. Yeah, so yeah, we're trying to step into our power, and maybe we're just not aware of how we do that yet. So we're just trying every avenue we can, and that's part of that scarcity mindset. Maybe you feel like if I don't do something, my power will slip out of my hands, which is silly. What are you talking about? It is always there. It's always with you. You can't lose it. You can only ever give it away. But the beautiful thing about giving it away is you can always take it back. You know? You don't ever lose it. It's still there. Anything else before I move into the why they need to hear this at this time? Ace of Cups. Yeah. So because you're doing this pause, because you're transforming this shift. Oh, interesting. Because you're making the shift, because you are actually looking at this moment and kind of trying to redirect your energy and, you know, change that mindset, you are calling in some creativity. The Ace of Cups can also represent creative ideas, right? It's funny because it looks so morbid, but in this deck, skulls and bones and stuff like that, it's part of the Sikh tradition, right? Death is as normal to them as life. So they utilize bones and stuff like that. But this represents plants, right? It's creative ideas. It's new emotions, right? It's the ability to get new ideas. So by doing these things, by grounding yourself into your body, you will get that little burst of creativity, because instead of spending all of your time in your head going, what can I do? Where can I change things? Making 4,000 lists and trying to rewrite your entire routine overnight with that overambitious energy. I'm guilty of this as well. You know, you stay up until 4 a.m., you make a list on how you're going to show up in your life. You've got an itinerary, trying to make those green juice shots in your fridge and start a whole new workout routine, or how you're going to save, and it's way too overambitious, way too many changes at once, and it falls apart immediately because you forgot you're a human being and not a robot. Instead of doing all of that, you're grounding into your body, getting more into the present, and because that excess energy is going somewhere else, you'll actually be able to use your creativity for what's the next step, one step at a time, right? 4-4, finding that stability. Interesting. Okay, we have our what. Let me get into our why. Why do you need to hear this at this time? Steampunk wants to talk today. So let's hear from them. What do they want to tell us today? Oh, someone might be Irish. I slipped into an Irish accent on accident. Why do they need to hear this at this time? Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure you said it already because they're making this shift, but I still want to know. Any more details? Hello. Hi, Patty. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for your likes, your attention, your energy. Thank you. Just thank you. I hope you're having a beautiful day today. So, why do they need to hear this at this time, Spirit? Why do you need me to tell them this? Why are they even here? I keep seeing 333. So some of you, and I got Michael earlier, so some of you may work with Archangel Michael, or that may be very relevant to you. 333 may also be just a significant number for you as well. That number speaks specifically on communication and collaboration. So interesting. Thank you. Goodness. We have the Knight of Wands reversed. Oh, because you are actively leaving behind that guarded energy. Oh, wonderful. So yeah. Oops. Yeah. So we're kind of leaving behind this heavily guarded energy. I love to see that. Especially since right now this retrograde in Scorpio does have the tendency to bring out really intense emotions, which could lead to rehashing old arguments and being very argumentative and snappy and taking things very personally. So I love to see that you're personally leaving this behind. And sometimes we can get that way because we have all that anxious energy and this desire to change, but it's not happening. So it builds a lot of frustration and resentment. So it's really good to see that you're kind of leaving that behind. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's just kind of par for the course, you know? We have the Nine of Pentacles in reversed as well. That's 2 9s. 2 9s. 9 is all about education, philosophy, and spirituality. Nine of Pentacles. That's interesting. The Nine of Pentacles is usually the mini Empress. She's usually in her garden. She's surrounded by her abundance. I mean, she's wearing the nice clothes. She's doing just fine over here. Normally, the hawk's eyes are covered in traditional tarot, but this one's wide open. So perhaps there's this... Yeah, we may not feel like we have everything just yet. Or we may be leaving behind the tendency to isolate when things are hard. Oh, this could also be the control issues I was talking about earlier. So we may also be letting go of the need to know everything and working through control issues. That would make sense if you're making lists at 4 a.m. on like every single thing you do in a day. Yeah, I got that with plantar fasciitis earlier because that usually represents like control issues and someone who just has too much pressure on their shoulders, carrying too much weight, which would make someone have control issues because if you're responsible for everything, yeah, if you're responsible for everything, of course you need to make sure everything's in order, you know? This card sideways. When I see a card show up in the sideways position, that tells me this is what we're currently flip-flopping between, right? It can go either way. It can be either the Page of Cups, this beautiful blue here, self-expression, communication. This Page of Cups talks about offers of creativity. It's you. You're the creative person. You're trying to come up with new ideas. You're trying to follow ideas. And yeah, this little plane here, right? We want to fly. We want to soar. We have all these beautiful ideas. But we're in this sideways of trying to follow that. In the reversed, right, that is, oh, how do I put it? In the reversed, it's like, yeah, feeling like we're a bit delusional. Yeah, but not necessarily delusion. It's more like in traditional tarot, it's a person with a fish in their cup. The reverse would be like you going, a fish shouldn't be in a cup, a fish should be in the ocean, right? And you kind of take your own creativity out and put it over there because you're like, this shouldn't be here, you know? It may be the feeling of your ideas are too whimsy, too out there, too fantastical, and kind of stuffing down that creativity. Yeah, kind of being like, I need to be realistic and practical. That's what that is. Two of Wands in the reversed. And yeah, so this specifically, this little back and forth here is the reason why our plans aren't moving. That's why we're in that energy. Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting because the Knight of Cups showed up right after that, and the page evolves into the knight in the tarot. So we have these plans to become the Knight of Cups, right? The Knight of Cups, we saw him earlier in the Upside Down, right? The Knight of Cups is typically the most romantic knight in the deck. They are also the person who embodies romanticizing your life, right? It's following after dreams. It's going full speed ahead on the things that bring you happiness, right? But it's moving less with just drive and ambition, with just the plans, and more into following the heart space. So that's where we're at right now. We're trying to embrace our inner page, embrace this new energy, chasing after new ideas. And it's a bit of a struggle. Yeah, it's a bit of a struggle right now. Whoever's hungry, please go eat something. Tell me more. But we're trying to go from page to knight. But we're trying to skip the process of being the page. You can't just be the... Oh my goodness, you have to be new in order to get to the intermediate. Silly. What are you doing? Yeah, we don't want our brand new dreams to be kind of crushed. We want to already have the plan, already have the steps laid out. No, you can't be doing that. That's too many. That's a user error. Yeah, you have to be comfortable with making mistakes along the way. It's all right if your creative projects, if the things you're chasing after they don't quite work out as perfect as you imagine. The fact of the matter is that you chased after it anyway, and you can always improve and build upon it, right? It's not a failure, it's just a lesson. That's it. Failure is never starting in the first place. Thank you. So we have the Six of Pentacles in reversed, the Chariot in the reversed, and the Five of Wands. Okay. Definitely that carrying too much weight. There could be building resentment, feeling like we're getting taken advantage of. There's also a Chariot here, not being able to do that victory, so kind of going in a more shadowy spiral of and a lot of conflict. So there could be outside forces around you that kind of help perpetuate this narrative, whether maliciously or not, who keep having you go through this back and forth of whether or not it's worth it to pursue, whether or not you should even, should I even try this thing, or should I stick with the tried and true? And it puts you in that anxiety spiral. Now, again, you are leaving it, but you're hearing this because that's the thing. We're trying to become the Knight of Cups without being the page. Yeah, and I see this sideways too. So again, there's that other 9 for the Hermit, right? Upright, the Hermit is someone who is comfortable being alone, right? They go within and they shine a light on the darkest parts of themselves, right? But it's like a healing withdrawal. It's when you go into your little den and you work on yourself and then you come back out at some point. In the reversed, that's like over-isolating to the point that it's causing some detriment in regards to your relationships. It could be, this conflict is causing a little bit of back and forth, where at one point you're going in to heal yourself and at another you're kind of over-isolating. Yeah. Tell me more. Yeah, it's like all this dark energy and the Devil reversed. Okay, yeah, so it's like and the Lovers right after that. That's crazy. The Lovers and the Devil are two sides of the same coin, just the extreme versions, right? We have this balanced masculine and feminine energies, right? Our ambitious go-getter energy versus our creative energy that's more open to receiving. The getting versus the receiving, and the intuition guiding it along. And we literally have the Devil, which is all about overwork, vices, addictions, the shadowy side, right? So I see that we're leaving behind this spiraling behavior, right? Now, remember, I said we had that conflict and we do have the isolating tendencies, and we're trying really hard to get this Page of Cups, right? Going after this idea that seems too good to be true in order to become that little Knight of Cups. So we've been battling, thank you, Man Ray. We've been battling the shadow side and trying to turn the devil into the lovers, right? Trying to balance that out. It looks like it's working. It looks like you're actually doing it. We're still in that little transitionary period. As remember, I said this tower here, letting the foundation change, transformation, balancing out, and a shift in perspective, which is all beautiful, beautiful energy. So that's what we're currently doing. That's why you're kind of going back and forth on whether or not you're going to chase after it or not. Thank you. Anything else, Spirit? On why they need to hear this at this time, or should I move on? Oh, that flipped and then went back in. I saw exactly what that was, so I'm gonna see if it comes back out. I see you. The 10 of Wands. Yeah, there's that excessive, oh geez. 10 of Wands and 10 of Swords. There's the excessive pressure, excessive weight, excessive responsibilities. Yep, we're trying to balance that out. 777 just showed up, and that is all about luck, spirituality, mysticism. Yeah, it's that perpetual grind, feeling pinned into the ground, right? And the carrying of all of the burdens. But it's like, this can also indicate, oh, bunch of smoke. That's a clearing of negative energies. So this is telling me that you're at that last little leg of the journey, right? You still have your little light here guiding you through the darkness, and we're carrying that to the very end here. Oh my goodness, get some sleep, R. So, I've been telling you to get some sleep. Let's see. Anything else, Spirit, or should I move to the next one? So it's like the last little leg of the journey. We have the 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, and that can make you feel like you are like, it feels like it's all just being hoisted over onto your shoulders. Good, I'm glad. You see this energy? It's like, I feel like everything is being put onto me and I didn't even ask for it. It's like I'm everyone's personal packing donkey. I'm everyone's personal emotional punching bag. 222. Yeah. I feel like no one ever thinks of the fact that I've already got so much on my plate. Why do I need more on my plate? So that's kind of what we're struggling with. And we have the Hierophant here, which is all about like tradition, convention. So this may have something to do with traditional roles that were taught to you. You could be carrying it all on your back because someone told you that's what you should be doing because of the chromosomes in your body, which is hilarious. Let's see. Oh, that's not good. Your hair represents your femininity, so that may be a call to look into your divine feminine energy and do some healing there. The Queen of Wands. Yeah, you're the Queen of Wands, right? The Queen of Wands is a powerful manifester. She's riding her horse. Horses represent movement and freedom, right? She's on this horse, so she has all the power. And there's this sunflower here, right? Which represents joy and optimism. She's the manifester. That divine femme energy, yeah. The receptive, the creative. So like you have all the drive and the passion to go after what you want. We're just kind of struggling in the feels department. Yeah. Let's see. Anything else, or shall I move on? I'm so glad I found this channel. Their music's such a vibe. Because I like having a little bit more peppy music in my background, and it's not going to cause any issues with copyright because it's royalty free. So it's like, yeah, I like a bit more upbeat of a vibe when I'm giving hard messages. I'm glad. I want to help people however I can. Let's see. Anything else? Or shall I head on out of here? Well, not out of here. What am I saying? To the next part. I see cards flipped over. So there's undercurrents there, but I want them out. I don't want hidden. I want out. You gotta say it with your whole chest. I love EDM too. One of my deities, that's their preferred song, like song type. So whenever I listen to it, it reminds me of them. Anything else? Anything else on why they need to hear this at this time? Queen of Swords and the Tower reversed again. No, it was upright over here. So yeah. Oh, okay. So what we need to do is express ourselves. You need to get comfortable with telling people to F off. If they come at you and try to put more on your plate, tell them respectfully to go away. It's not, your plates are already full, they need to move on. Right? You see how like someone's coming in and offering their hand to give it to her and she's got her little sword here? This needs to be you, my friends. You need to get, well, let me not tell you what you need to do, right? Because that'll automatically trigger defensive mechanisms, okay? If your plate is already full, don't let people put more on your plate. And get comfortable with saying no. People are going to be mad that you say no, but when we tell kids no and they throw a fit about it, what do? We move on. Because no means no. Full sentence. The end. If they have a problem with it, don't ever do anything for them again, because they clearly don't respect boundaries. I just lit some incense and gave you guys a little extra cleansing because I feel like somebody needs it. Yeah, that's one of the parts of the tower that we're getting rid of. Not getting rid of, we're letting fall. There's resistance to that part, is basically saying, I don't want to, I have a hard time saying no, but then that leads to built up resentment and disappointment because people aren't as giving as you are. It's like they forget that you're a person with your own life and they seem to think, oh, you can handle so much, so let's just keep piling more on. And keep piling more on. They're not saying no. They're not saying my plate's too full. They just keep taking more. So we'll give them some more, right? You got to speak up. Yeah, I mean, it's not comfortable. I understand. I'm here. I've been here. I'm the recovering people pleaser. Okay, I get it. I'm in this energy now. It is so much better over here, I promise you. Okay, and you're not evil for saying no. You're not evil for saying, actually, I don't have time for that. Okay, if they love you, they will respect it. And if they don't respect it, they can move right on along. They can get on up out of your life. You can still be a loving person and tell people no. They have no problem telling you no, so you say no. There should be an equal give and take in all areas of your life. It shouldn't be you constantly overgiving and everyone just kind of forgetting that you're a person and you need to rest too. Yes, that is very true, yes. Gender normatives are interesting. Yeah, and that's where we get into our head about it, because it's like, if I say no, I'm a bad person. No, you're not. No, you're not. Okay, you're not a bad person. Yeah, if I say no, I won't get the money that I won't want. I won't get the legacy. I won't be surrounded by people who love me. No, you'll stop being surrounded by people who take advantage of you, and you will go find the people who actually respect your no the first time. Okay, so let's remember that. Yes. So I'm going to get into the next part. So who wants to talk about what do we do about it? Because we have our what, we have our why, but instead of just leaving you there, I want, what do you want to do about it? Yeah, that smoke coming in for cleansing. Mythos wants to talk. Start small. Whenever I grab small deck like this, I often see it as a sign of either someone feels like they're small, right? We're playing small, or in this case, with the what do you want to do about it, would be start small. I'm not going to bridge this because these are cards representing deities, and I just feel like that's so disrespectful. So I will shuffle them a different way. So, Spirit, what do they need to do about it? Oh. Well, that was interesting. We have the Three of Swords for Eros showing up here. Well, we have some internalized pain that needs to be looked at. Yay. More healing. Sorry, I'm the kind of person that when things are hard, I laugh. I know it's not appropriate. I apologize. But it's an ironic laugh of, oh, yay. What else do they need to do about it? The Knight of Swords with Aries, but it's in the sideways. Aries. He's the god of war. So the Knight of Swords is like fast communication. More of that Knight of Swords. Good lord. So, okay. So I see what this is. So whenever that anxiety shows up with the Phobos, the deity of nightmares, that's like, again, that drive of, I need to fix my anxiety, so I'm just going to change my whole life and cause myself more anxiety because I can't live up to my own expectations because I'm trying to be a robot instead of a human being. Yeah, I'm trying to be a human doing instead of a human being. The Knight of Swords is the second fastest knight in the deck. They're all about thoughts and words. So they're the ones who make the list on how they should change their entire life to fit some other person's energy levels and expectations and how they can show up in a day instead of your own. So it's when we do it in the reversed position, it's basically using your mind in order to create more anxiety, instead of actively figuring out how to handle this. So this internalized pain is literally just a repeating cycle of you utilizing your own brain to cause you more anxiety based off of what you feel like you should be doing instead of what you... Yeah, it's like I should be getting up at 4 a.m., getting a workout in, doing, like, having my green juice, clocking into work, working for, I don't know, 13 hours, and then having a social life, as well as, like, it's like putting everything into your 24 hours and forgetting that you need to eat, you need to rest, you need to go to the bathroom. Sometimes your energy levels are different, especially if you're a feminine and you have hormonal cycles, right? If you look up cycle syncing, right? If you have a uterus and you deal with the hormonal fluctuations, look up cycle syncing so that you can actually understand how your hormones work and work with them instead of fighting them and trying to adjust to hormone levels of people who don't have the same hormones. Right? If you're getting close to your cycle starting, that's the time to be resting. Okay, that's very light energy work, and then during the actual part, you're supposed to be resting. If you're trying to go, you're going to run yourself into the ground. The time for all of that is during the middle part. Okay, just letting you know now. Just letting you know. Look it up, check it out, see if it vibes with you. Okay. But that's what you need to do. You need to go look up that information in order to actually make your life work for you without fighting your own body. Yeah, I'll tell you. And it'll also give you some advice on what to eat during those times in order to balance your hormones. I'm just saying. You can also talk with your primary care provider in order to get onto that. You know, I'm not going to tell you not to listen to your doctor, but like, look into it. Use your mind to help you in a way that's not going to hurt you. Okay? What else do they need to do about it at this time, Spirit? Yeah, I see 2, 3, 4. Yes, progress, steps. That will be very helpful for you. Specifically if you are, if you have a uterus and you have those hormonal fluctuations. If you're not, and still, I would say look into things. Men have hormones too. People who don't have uteruses also have hormones. So I would just look into that kind of stuff and see if there's something you can do to help yourself along there. And be okay. Like, if you wake up and you have no energy, don't push yourself. Okay? Don't do that. Honor your body. If you're tired, rest. I know we have things to do. I know we have bills to pay. I know we have people to take care of. But find a way to rest. It's so important. You're your most powerful asset. Take care of yourself. Yes. What else do they need to do at this time, Spirit? Need to dance. Yeah. Yep. There's the sun. Dance. Dancing is somatic therapy. It will also help get that energy into your body and put you grounded so that you can actually like get rid of some of that anxiety, okay? We have the sun here with Helios. This is the time. Yeah. Instead of staying in that fear mode, right? This is all about optimism. So it's like finding ways to get in touch with that inner child, finding things that bring you some comfort, right? Again, that's what I got earlier. Stillness and joy. Finding those things that kind of pull you out of the constant stress. Stress management is so needed. Just those things that, and whatever it is, whether that's listening to podcasts, audiobooks, reading, painting, video games, whatever it is that kind of pulls you out of up here in the stress and anxiety and down here into the fun part. That will help regulate some of that. Oh, that did a whole flip sideways. For the Three of Cups with the Graces, right? These guys these ladies, excuse me, represent grace, charm, and beauty, right? And this specific card also talks about celebrating with friends. When I see this sideways, that always means it can go either or. This is another one of those transitions, right? You need to be celebrating yourself more. Okay? You need to be, if you have had a hard time, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself again. If you do take the time to honor that Page of Cups energy and start actually going towards those little creative things, tapping into your creativity, allow yourself to treat yourself somehow, whether that's, I don't know, taking a really nice relaxing bath, whether that's listening to things you haven't heard in many years. If you're a millennial, Pink, really, I haven't heard some of her songs in so long. Getting back into, I have the perfect advice for you. What I did, right, when I needed a little bit of pep from past me, from my teenage years and stuff like that, is I created my own little playlist of songs that I haven't heard since I was a teenager. And sometimes when I just need that little bit of extra playfulness and youthful energy, I'll go listen to that, and it'll be this like nostalgic blast from the past of not the ones that were for when I was really sad, but like the ones that I just really enjoyed listening to on repeat, and I'll go listen to that, and it'll really bring some like fun and happiness into my day, right? So let's tap into that a little bit more and celebrate ourselves. You deserve it. You deserve the happiness. You deserve it. And it will bring more of that balance with Temperance, with Artemis, right? It'll bring some of that balance in that you're needing, because we already have that this is a time of balancing. So that's part of this is the key here. This is that little nugget of wisdom of tapping into that and figuring out how to celebrate yourself as you move forward through this, because you are effectively doing what you're trying to manifest. You are actually going for it. You're making progress. So you do deserve to celebrate yourself for the progress that you've made in little ways. And there's that sideways again with the World, right? With Gaia. This card is all about completing cycles. In the reverse, it's repeating cycles. And I see the Devil here with Hades as well, right? So at this time, we're currently dealing with our shadow aspect, our shadow side, those self-sabotaging habits. That's okay, all right? And it stems directly around this King of Wands with Kronos. All right, this devil energy, your devil energy specifically is your masculine side. It is that ambitious go-getter. I want to get everything done. I have drive. I have ambition. I have passion. But in their unhealed energy, they are impulsive. They are demanding. They can be very much hard to handle. They are very much, you must respect me because I am such and such, right? So that could be an aspect of yourself. They have a very heavy temper. When things don't go their way, they kind of explode all over everybody, right? That is a shadow side you have to deal with. It's very much control issue type of energy. very high strung. In the upright, an absolutely amazing leader, someone who is able to get things done, who has all that drive and passion, and is the type of leader who inspires others by going after the things they want with passion. They don't have to be the biggest person in the room. They don't have to be the strongest. They don't have to be the smartest or the wisest. All they have to do is show up and go after it with unwavering tenacity, right? So that's that shadow energy, is this loop of over, yeah, that Five of Wands, trying to make your life look like someone else's in order to showcase that you, yeah, it's like, I want to be the it girl, it guy, so I need my life to look exactly like this. And if it doesn't, I'm not that. What are you talking about? You're already the king? The king doesn't need to tell everyone they're the king. They just show up and are the king, you know? And then people see them doing what they're doing and are inspired to follow their example. The people that you see who are out there being the it person, the it girl, the it guy, they're just doing their normal routine, and other people are like, I like that, I want to do that. That doesn't mean that because you don't follow that, you're worthless. You know, that doesn't make sense. Oh, that one landed on the floor. And yeah, we have Keton here with the Eight of Cups. So yeah, that's currently what we're doing. That's what we're leaving behind, is this this tendency for comparison, for over-comparing, for trying to prove that we're this type of way. We're trying to prove that we're able to handle everything by accepting everything that we're offered in order to be like, oh, I'm a good person, right? I'm a good person, therefore I can't ever say no. No. Just, that's it, the end. No. You can, like, the best leaders in life have boundaries. They say, no, my plate is full. I would much rather have someone in my life, like, I would rather have a boss that knows when they can't take on any more responsibilities than someone who is doing so much that they can't focus on properly running the establishment. You know what I mean? I would much rather listen to someone who actually, like, has the capability of taking care of themselves, who's able to approach situations calm and grounded, instead of someone who has 45 tabs open in their head and is trying to keep track of all 45 tabs, right? And I know that also is like ADHD. I'm not talking about ADHD. I'm talking about people who are so busy that they are scatterbrained and they can't ever focus on one thing because they have to be doing 10 things all at once. And I'm calling myself out here. Yeah, we have that Hermit here. So yeah, going within, and we're going within. We're currently working on that. That's the thing we're shining our light on. And the Ace of Swords, it's causing a little bit of chaos. Yeah. Yeah, Hermes and chaos here. The truth can sometimes meeting our inner truth can cause a little chaos. It can uproot our life of being like, oh my God, I'm a bit of a control freak. And then we go, am I a bad person? No. That was your method of survival for the longest time, and now it is hurting you. And that's why we're currently working on it. Yeah, you remember how I said you felt like life wasn't unfair? Yeah, you're balancing it. This whole transition you're doing, this whole time of kind of looking at it and figuring out how to apply your energy towards your goals, you got to pick a goal first, right? That's the balance. That's bringing the fairness. Yeah, because when you start actually putting up those boundaries and you start saying no, then you can actually focus on the tasks that mean the most to you, and you can still get things done and rest. Right? And then you won't feel that resentment. You won't feel that guilt because you're still doing the things that matter. Things are still getting done, and you're actually getting the rest you need. You're actually taking care of yourself, and you're actually able to show up as your best self. You're able to show up in a way that helps you get things done in the smoothest way possible. Yeah. Because we're at our best when we're well rested and well fed. You know what I mean? Well rested, well fed means a clear head. Yeah, the tower and the star, that's crazy. Poseidon here, as well as Nyx. So Poseidon showing up here as the tower, the justice is the tower. This upheaval is the tower. Letting this foundation fall is the healing, right? You're starting your healing journey. You're healing this. This is what you're doing currently. Last one, and then I'll get into the recap and advice. I'm actually doing really good on time, so I see so many undercurrents here. What else do they need to do about it? Yeah, that self-betrayal showing up again. Actually, I'll put that out here. Self-betrayal. Yeah, like we're healing the self-betrayal with the Melpomene. You see how it's looking at the betrayal? We're healing that self-betrayal of taking on too much. What else do they need to do at this time? Let me not shuffle the cards so close to the mic. 2 cards, 1 sideways. Oh, the 8 of Swords reversed. We see her again, Medusa, leaving the mental prison. Yes, but there's a sideways. What is it? 7 of Wands with Soteria. Usually the 7 of Wands is like defending yourself from unsolicited advice and opinions, right? So yeah, upright, it would be defensive, dealing with that kind of stuff, feeling like you have to defend yourself. In the reversed, that would be a doormat. Yeah, it's like the 2 opposites here. It's like standing on your own and being different despite what everybody says, despite all the people trying to give their nonsense. And that's kind of what I like about this card, is that this specific deity looks like she's wearing all of the opinions and looks amazing doing it. It's like, okay, your opinions are what? My hair accessory? You know, I'm still doing my own thing. I got my rabbit. I'm going towards my abundance, right? And I don't really care what you have to say about it. Versus I care about what everyone has to say about it. 444 just showed up. So yeah, that would literally put you in that mental prison. That people-pleasing behavior. That's the stability wound. That's the root wound that we're working on. So we're trying to leave this 8 of Swords, and that stems from this. Opinions. Caring about what other people think. Yes. Yeah, and the Queen of Cups with Phoebe. The Queen of Cups. Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Queen of Cups is someone who is very much connected to their feelings. They're very much intuitive. They are very creative, right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I've seen everybody put the Queen of Pentacles here. So we're like really close to stepping into the Empress energy. Yep. Because the Queen of Pentacles is that stability. It's that stable, grounded, calm energy surrounded by her abundance. That's where we're heading. We're going through our steps. Yeah, we have the Page of Cups and we have the Knight of Cups. And after the Knight of Cups comes the Queen of Cups. So that's where we're at right now. We're trying to rush that process, and you don't need to be. You will get there. You're on that journey right now, and you're making really good progress, okay? We're currently dealing with these little hiccups along the way, but following those will actually get you to your little Queen of Cups and to your healing. Oh, I love it. This is stepping into the recovering people pleaser arc. Yay! Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to get into the advice oracle right after this. For right now, though, I'm going to do a quick recap. I like to post a video summarizing the live for anyone who missed it. So just bear with me for a moment while I do this little recap, and then we'll get straight into the advice oracle cards in order to give you a little bit more guidance to think on as you move forward in your journey. So, This collective is currently getting, like, they're going through a transformative period of leaving behind stagnation and boredom and chasing after things for the sake of needing change. There's a burning desire to make changes, but not necessarily knowing how. And this time currently is Spirit helping you to balance out this need to change versus making actual change, instead of just trying to completely uproot your life and hoping that something will stick, right? We're leaving behind this mental prison of needing things to change. Things need to change. I need to change in order for things to come to fruition, in order for my goals to come in and my dreams to be met, right? That is crumbling. That is a foundational belief that we've kept for a very long time that revolves entirely around a lot of conflict. You could have picked it up as a child, right? It's a never-ending cycle of lies you tell yourself that tell you that in order to bring change into your life, you somehow have to just go out and change everything about yourself, become a whole new person that doesn't exist, instead of just being yourself and changing old patterns that have kept you in the same loop. This is a shift in your perspective. You're currently getting a new perspective on how to make changes, right? And you're not really seeing the progress that you're hoping for, so you do feel some kind of way about it. We want to have all this inner power. We're currently pursuing it. It's just not showing up the way that, like, as fast as we want. So that can get us in our feelings a little bit. But this shift is currently helping you towards getting that creative spark, the new, like, grounding into your body in order to start actually, instead of utilizing all that energy in order to overthink and spiral and usurp everything about your life and create more chaos, we're now figuring out ways to do things with that energy in order to calm ourselves down, to actually move forward towards what we want. You know what I mean? Going a bit slower. And why you need to hear this at this time is because you're leaving behind that really guarded energy towards change. Even though we may not feel like we're the Nine of Pentacles just yet, even though we may not feel like we're as stable as we want, we may not feel like we have control over our lives, you're still making progress. We're going between going actually after what we dream of, right? This Page of Cups. We're trying to figure out how to express ourselves in a way that brings forward that change versus just acting like what we want is too fanciful, right? Like we can't have it. That's currently what we're flip-flopping between, is going after these brand new creative ideas, this wave of inspiration and motivation that comes in and gives us all these brilliant ideas to make changes, versus going, oh, that's not realistic, I shouldn't do that, that's not really what I want to do. And it ruins all of our plans, right? It just keeps ruining all of our plans. We're trying to romanticize our lives, but the way we're going about it is a bit more destructive than we hope. We may have a tendency to overgive, and that does block most of our victories because it causes a lot of chaos in our life, a lot of conflict. There may be people who put too much on your plate and you have a hard time telling them that your plate is full and you need to not take any more onto your plate. And again, we're working through that, looking at ourselves, being self-aware, and over-isolating. Instead of like coming clean and expressing ourselves. Like instead of actually telling people, hey, my plate is full, we kind of hide away and try to just shut our feelings about it down, shut our resentment down. And currently we're kind of releasing that shadowy aspect, and we're balancing more into our divine masculine and feminine energies. We're finding that balance. And there is a struggle here, right? There is a struggle of feeling like we just take on too much. We take on too much. It's exhausting. We're carrying all these burdens, and Spirit's saying you're at the last leg of it, right? It feels like it's just unfairly put upon you, right? There's like this weird expectation that you're supposed to be holding on to it specifically. I don't know if that's because of your gender identity or what it is, but for some reason, there's this feeling like everyone does it because you're the one who always takes it on, and you never say no, so they just bring more. So it feels like that's just a thing that we have to work through, because we're the Queen of Wands. We have all that passion, we have all that desire. We're the Queen of manifestation. We manifest whatever we want, right? The problem is we take on too much, and it causes us to be too stressed to actually focus on what we want. And really, you're being told this because Spirit's saying you need to get that sword out. You need to start speaking your truth. You need to speak up and say, no, I don't want to dance, actually. My plate is full, right? That's the one thing we're resisting right now. We're currently resisting that part, is we're avoiding conflict, right? Because we feel like if we say something, people will be disappointed in us, right? They'll leave us behind. We'll lose everything. We feel like we won't have friends, we won't have family because we're saying no, right? That's not the case. People who actually love you will respect your boundaries. They'll go, oh, I didn't realize your plate was full. Okay, I'll move on, right? And if they throw a fit, they don't like you, period, respectably. I don't care who they are, okay? And what you need to do about it, this internalized pain that you've been carrying around, this resentment, this feeling like you're always carrying everything and no one notices, right? There's another thing you're also working on, right? It's, again, that charging in with plans that don't seem to work. Over planning, trying to outplan your own anxiety, trying to outplan the anxiety, okay? Maybe if I just wake up at 4 a.m., I'll be able to have an extra 25th hour somewhere in my 24 hours. Maybe if I just work out harder, it will somehow make me more capable of putting more on my plate. You know, maybe if I just shift everything around, maybe if I get better at time management, maybe, right? Yeah, the Spirit wants you to not do that. They want you to get more into actually going after the things that you want. You need to make more time to actually enjoy yourself and to actually celebrate yourself. You need to be taking better care of yourself. That will bring that balance, right? Because we're currently also struggling with celebrating ourselves. We're making all this progress towards making those changes, but we're not realizing it. We're not actually looking at that progress, and that's kind of hindering our own happiness because we're not recognizing it. We're not taking the time to go, wow, I said no today. I should, I don't know, I should watch that comfort movie that I haven't watched in 3 years because no one ever wants to watch it with me. Go watch it. And we're also, like, this is the cycle complete. We're at that turning point of whether we repeat the cycle or whether we move past it, right? We're moving between that. And the cycle is basically, we're trying to show people that we're a good person by taking on everything that's given to us at the detriment to ourselves. We're trying to show people I'm reliable, I'm trustworthy, I can handle so much, right? We're trying to just be this King of Wands. You're already the King of Wands. You don't need to prove it. We're trying to prove ourselves as a good person by having zero boundaries, and that is painful, okay? That is the cycle. That's the cycle repeat. That's the shadow side. We're trying to just take everything on in order for people to like us. It's very much giving people pleaser behavior. But we are currently leaving it behind. This is just that last little leg, that last little, like, going back and forth. This internal, like, you looking within and noticing that may be throwing you off a bit. It may be throwing you for a loop because there's nothing quite like realizing, ooh, I have no boundaries, or, oh, I'm a bit of a control freak, right? Like, it would throw things into turmoil, and then you're like, what have I been doing all my whole life? Those types of things, you know? But this is balancing out. This little tower here. Realizing this is causing the foundation to fall, and it's balancing the scales, and it's bringing your healing. This is the healing path. This is the healing of the constant self-betrayal of having to listen to everyone's opinions, everyone wanting something from you, and you just listen to it all of the time, and it keeps you in that mental prison. That's what we're currently working on, this people-pleasing behavior. once we do that, once we get through these little sideways moments, right? This current internal work, you're going to be the Queen of Cups. You're already the Queen of Wands, you're already the Queen of Swords, and you're already the Queen of Cups. We're currently working on this, right? Getting over the guilt of having boundaries, right? Getting over the I feel really bad for saying no, even though it's perfectly fine to say no, and it doesn't make you evil because you have too much on your plate. You aren't suddenly weak or any of that stuff because you're busy. People know you're busy. If they come bringing you more stuff, they just think that you're if people bring more to your plate, it's because they think that you have enough room for it. If they actually realize that your plate was overflowing, if they could see all the responsibilities on your plate, 9 times out of 10, they wouldn't put more on your plate, you know? And if they did, those people need to be out of your life, because what are they doing? Why are they so comfortable seeing you struggling? You know what I mean? So that is the recap. So I'm going to get into the advice oracle to help guide you, to help see if we can get a little bit more guidance. I like these cards, these oracle cards, because they have sentences, so it kind of gives you a bit more to think on, a bit more advice, something to kind of help you with these little parts that you're working on. Welcome back, R. So I'll get into the advice to help you move forward, and then I shall release you into the wilds. So where did I put my, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay. And they also have animals on them for extra confirmation. This has happened to me before, but this is the first time this has happened since. But this card doesn't have any other cards. It doesn't belong to a deck. It's one of those cards you get in subscription boxes, and it just fell out. So the yellow for the confidence, having the self-confidence to stand on your boundaries, and then blue for speaking up, right? And it says open to possibility with the number 23. The world, the whole world is before you. Okay. So again, yeah. There's this, you may also feel like you're too busy to add on your own dreams. And to that, I say, what are you doing? Get rid of the stuff that prevents you from going after your dreams. You can delegate. Because guess what? Good leaders can also delegate. There is somebody in your midst that can take on one of those responsibilities. Yes, there is. And if they literally cannot, right? Right? Say you're taking care of someone who's disabled, right? Obviously, you can't ask them to clean the house, but you can always find a way to hire the help, okay? There's a way. There's some kind of way to fix it. No, R, you need to take care of yourself. There's that thing. I just said it. It's the adding the things. Maybe if I wake up earlier to get an extra hour into my day, it'll fix all of my problems. Maybe if I drink another cup of coffee, it'll make me more awake. No. No. I need to say no to stuff. So, and like I said before, I'm guilty of the same stuff. I am that recovering people pleaser. I had to learn to tell people no. And the ones who left my life, good riddance. Because I don't have to deal with that anymore. So, same for you. Even if you become the most evil person on the planet because you said no once, doesn't, oh man, well, now I don't have to tend to that person all the time anymore. Thank goodness. Let's help ease their fears and bring them a little bit more guidance. Yeah, trust in divine detours with 16 with the coyote spirit. Yeah, so during this time, we may be fighting it. This is giving up some of that control to the universe. They have to respect your free will. So nothing that ever comes your way will be something that you're forced to do. Yes, exactly. It'll never be something that you're forced to do. You won't doom yourself. Your life won't become like this karmic recurring punishment cycle. No. Free will must be respected. At the end, you choose what you go through. You decide if you want to repeat the loop again or if you want to change. It's up to you entirely. Entirely up to you. But trusting in those divine detours. When you are trying to overwork yourself to death and your body literally gives you an injury so that you can't work anymore, I want you to trust in that. That's the universe telling you that you're doing too much and you need to knock it off. Yes, exactly. Let's ease some of their anxieties and fears as they move forward, Spirit. Let's give them some clarity and some advice that'll help them on their path. A little bit more advice. Help them out. Yes. So I'll give you an example, right? So when I first started trying to work, I started trying to do things. Now I have my own circumstances. I can't necessarily do a regular 9 to 5, right? So I started working around and trying to do like freelance. I'm an artist, so I was trying to do commissions. I tried Uber for a little bit. I was trying to bring more money in, you know? My tire got shredded during the first week of my deliveries. I had a whole lot of car problems, even though it's not a super old car. I had no real reasons for it. I got incredibly sick the week after getting my tire repaired. So I was out of work for 2 weeks. And, you know, you don't get sick leave on Uber. So it was like the first 2 weeks of me starting. And I was like, okay, clearly that's not for me. When I started doing a lot of commissions, I had a condition flare up that I didn't know I had. And it meant that drawing became incredibly painful. So I couldn't necessarily create at the pace that I needed in order to bring in a stable income. And it just kept happening. Every time I tried to start up again, it would come back. No matter how many exercises I did, no matter how much I rested, the more I tried, the more painful it became. Whenever I would try to do a 9 to 5, my schedule would be so chaotic. I would be overworked, underpaid, and it would be so chaotic that I couldn't be home with my son. I was gone all the time. I didn't really sleep much. And I aggravated a condition that I received from being injured in the military, which meant that now I can't even do what I want to do, which was at the time working in the food industry. I can't stand for long periods of time, and I can't be on my feet for long periods of time anymore. So, yeah, every avenue I tried, I would get hurt. I would get hurt or sick, or my hours wouldn't meet up, or my car would go out. It was every single time. I thought I was cursed. And this was before I started going into, you know, spirituality and learning that it's really hard to curse people. But like, I really felt like I was doomed karmically to not have money and be poor, because every time I tried to bring money into my life, something got in my way. Yeah. So what I did about it was I showed up here. I started to follow the calling Spirit told me 3 years ago that I'm supposed to be doing readings. And it sounded so crazy and woo-woo at the time. And I was like, no one wants to hear me. What do you mean? No one wants to see me pull cards. My condition has not been aggravated by doing this, even though it should be. And I get to make my own schedule, which way, way more easy for me to do. So if there's something you've always wanted to do that works with you, I would try that, and I would follow the path of least resistance. If you don't, I was able to show up here while still sick from my previous work and was able to still bring something in, even if it was only like a couple of cents, right? But it was something. Even though I was sick, I could still be at home. I could still take care of who I need to take care of. I could still handle my business and show up and take the time off that I need and all of it. And I like being here. Oh my God, that would be so long though, R. We have the Sandpiper Spirit with be playful. So yeah, in the reverse. Trust in divine detours and be playful. So there is something you do that brings you that optimism, that brings you that whimsy, that playfulness, that really lights you up, that you need to be doing in order to help with that anxiety and help really balance you out, get you into that grounded energy, get you into your body, reclaim your power. Yeah, you need to be saying no. And that's that 44. It's all about stability, security, and foundations. So again, we're letting that tower fall. We're trusting the divine detour because it's trying to help you get into the whimsy. It's trying to help you realize that, like, as adults, we feel like we can't just be playful. We can't be kids. We can't dance just randomly in our kitchen in order to bring some happiness into our life. We can't color. We can't watch old shows because we're grown up now. And for some reason, that means we have to be boring and suffer. Like, no, those are all things that are beautiful. They help bring that creativity into your life. That's wonderful. They help bring that creativity into your life. They help you ground into the present moment. They help you get into the ability to manifest. Because in order to manifest, you have to first have a dream in the first place. You have to first have a goal to chase after. In order to have a goal, you have to have wants. You have to have desires. You have to think, what would my life be like if I had this, right? And then you have to imagine what it would be like to have it. So you really have to tap into that creativity. In order to nurture that creativity, you have to be playful. I mean, gosh, why live a life that's so serious and boring, you know? Do you really like living a life that's wake up, eat, work, sleep, repeat? I don't. I want to play a game. I want to play a game. I want to have fun. I don't want to be here to work until I die. Yeah. I want some fun in my life. And that's why my family's still huge on holidays. So we do like cookies and paint pumpkins and stuff like that. Because like everyone does it. Everybody. Yeah, exactly. I'm talking my parents do it. I do it. My son does it. Everybody. Everybody paints the pumpkins. Everybody decorates the cookies. Life should be way funner. Way funner. Yeah, when you make yourself your little peanut butter and jelly sandwich, use a cookie cutter. Make it into a tree, because why not? Have a tree sandwich today. Whimsy. Bring some fun into your life. I like doing that. That's what I do for my son. I make little tree sandwiches. Why not? They're cool. Little trees. Do I decorate stockings? No, I haven't had the chance to, but I would like to. Embrace the in-between and think on your feet as well. So yeah, it's like we're not embracing the in-between, right? We're not realizing that we're in the in-between. It's okay to be in the in-between. I've said this before. When you're in the in-between, I keep feeling like I'm saying that wrong. When you're in a transitionary moment, it's kind of like we're so focused on getting to the destination, we forget to enjoy the fact that we're on the scenic route. We forget to enjoy the view. This is the time when you are changing. This is the time when you are recognizing when you're clocking those things, when you're recognizing your own growth, when you're stepping into who you really are. It's a very beautiful process. Remember that. You're transitioning from life being all gray, all boring and drab, into a life of color, into a life where you're actually saying no. And you get to feel that dopamine rush of actually being in your power. Don't deprive yourself of that. This is the time to embrace it. You don't need to rush. You don't need to rush. Every time you choose yourself, every time you make those little decisions, you get those little victories, you're making progress, okay? And think on your feet with 27. Someone could be 27 here. It's beautiful fox. Beautiful fox. I love foxes. This means that, again, we're utilizing our mind. We're trying to outthink our own anxiety. It's really funny. We're trying to outthink our own brain. Yeah, when what we need to be doing is work with our brain, okay? Instead of trying to out anxiety our anxiety, we need to figure out how the heck to calm down. Yeah. And I know no one likes being told to calm down when they're in the thick of it, right? What I mean by that is really figuring out what brings you into your body so that all of that excessive energy that you're using in order to try to outmaneuver your own spiral is instead being used to instead of trying to outmaneuver yourself, like play your own game of head chess, you're getting into your body and allowing yourself the chance to actually calmly think while getting your energy out. Yeah, it's like when you're a parent and you have kids and they have a ton of energy, right? They have ADHD. Instead of telling them that they need to sit still and put their hands down, you let them have a thing. You buy one of those, like, you give them an outlet. Like, you get one of those, I can't think of the word right now, but there's a type of couch you can get that's just like foam, and it's a modular type. But you can have your kids like jump on that and play with it and not make a huge mess, and they're getting out all of that energy. If you have kids with sensory needs, that's a form of stimming. That's a form of allowing them to get rid of the excessive energy. It's the same premise. Finding a way to work with the excessive energy, finding a way to channel it into something else so that you can focus on what you actually want and look for the steps ahead instead of just kind of tumbling forward and knocking everything over in an attempt to bring some spice into your life. You know what I mean? Any more advice, Spirit? What's that, sweetheart? You're hungry? Oh, don't you worry. I'm going to go get food after I'm done working, okay? Can you wait 10 more minutes, please? And then I will go get some Whataburger, okay? What? Yeah, you want some Whataburger? Absolutely, sweetheart. You wait 10 minutes, okay? Any more advice? Woo. Yep. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. Any more advice from my collective here as they move forward, Spirit? Oh, I saw that. Now, if it doesn't come out, I don't want to hear it. But that is true. There's an undercurrent of a bit of a black and white thinking, extreme thinking, right? When we're trying to just balance and realize, yeah, it keeps coming out, so I'm going to say it, right? 20, dolphin spirit, this and that are true. That's extreme thinking, like in a nutshell, right? There's this need to, if I'm not taking on all of these responsibilities, I'm not a good person. I need to be busy in order to be a good person. I can't rest. I can't, like, in order to be this healed person, I have to look like this, right? It's the in-between. You can be both. I say it all the time, right? Persephone, right, who's in this deck, we didn't see her today, but Persephone is both the floral maiden and the queen of the underworld. You can be on your healing journey and still be going through things. You can still sometimes slip up. You can still sometimes tend to fall back into your shadow side. That's fine. It's part of the process, right? There will be times where you're trying to kind of get over people pleasing and you will accidentally people please in the process. That's okay, right? That's part of the journey, is you're getting the opportunities to choose different. And sometimes we'll mess up a little bit. We'll fall into the old patterns. That doesn't mean that you failed. That doesn't mean that, you have to start over again. You don't need to worry about that, okay? Progress is progress, even if it's one step at a time instead of three, right? You make your 3 steps forward, you do your 2 steps back, you still made 1 step of progress. Be happy you made the 1 step of progress, because you're still making progress and it does add up. So just remember that, like you're trying to heal it. That's perfectly enough. 2121 just showed up. That adds up to 6 for more of that balancing. In order to balance, you have to move the scales up and down a little bit. Hello, Brittany. In order to find that balance, you have to adjust until you find the balance. Okay? So remember that. And you're still on a healing journey, even if you slip up now and then. Because the point of the healing journey is not to become healed and perfect and you can never do wrong again, which doesn't exist. Oh, that's funny. Trying to come in perfect, trying to be perfect, perfection isn't real. Progress over perfection, okay? Yeah, in order to get to your healing, in order to heal, you must first be presented with the opportunities to heal, right? In order to know you're healed, you must slip up sometimes. Oh, that's cute. Okay. That's funny that it came in sequence, right? Taking steps. Love is all around. Again, that beautiful, beautiful blue. Spirit's always with you, first and foremost. They see you. They see you putting that work in. They see that you have too much on your plate and they're trying to help you out, okay? Remember that love is all around. The love you have for yourself, the love Spirit has for you, and the people in your life who actually care whether or not you're happy. It's all around you, okay? Remember to love yourself. Remember to celebrate the fact that you're making that progress. Give yourself that self-love. You deserve it. And remember, you are never alone. With 42, okay? Again, you've got your back. Spirit has your back. And the people who actually support you, whether or not you've met them yet, are there. They are available, okay? They are there. You don't have to show up perfectly healed. You don't have to be perfect. You can be just as messy as every other human on the planet as you work through these things, and you can still be a good person while you do it. You can be a good person while saying no and having boundaries. Yes, you can. Don't listen to that dusty person who told you you can't. Yeah, I say it a lot. If people get angry at you for having boundaries, they benefited from you not having boundaries. I think you should revisit that. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. That may be part of the process, is realizing that people who get mad at you for having boundaries benefited from you having a lack of boundaries. Whether they maliciously wish you to have no boundaries or they are not aware that they are disrespecting your boundaries. Good grief. So we have Sing Your Own Song with the Canary Spirit, Magic Works Through You with the Scarab Beetle Spirit, Watch Your Words with the Parrot Spirit, and Use Your Mind Wisely with the Pig Spirit. Yeah, sing your own song. Look at all that blue again. Speak up for yourself. Speak up for yourself, little canary. Look at all that little confidence and that little crown. You need to speak up for yourself. Speak up for yourself. Sing your song, okay? You don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to let life be so heavy. And magic works through you, okay? You are making that progress. You are making it, okay? You are doing it. Sometimes the journey is a little bit like a roller coaster instead of a straight line, okay? So just be aware of that. That's okay. And watch your words. What you say is what your subconscious hears. So every time you show up and you say, I'm not good enough, I'm always busy, I never have time for anything, I don't have time for that, you're telling your subconscious to keep the cycle going, right? Your subconscious believes it, therefore it manifests into your reality. Watch your words. Watch how you speak to yourself. Pay attention. Pay attention to your own words to yourself. Are you speaking love into yourself? Are you being kind to yourself? Right? Are you being kind to yourself? Are you saying nice things to yourself, or are you spending all of your time critiquing and bullying yourself? Pay attention, because that's what your that's what your subconscious hears, and that's what it repeats in your actions, in your thoughts. That's what it repeats, okay? And use your mind wisely. Again, you want the change to happen. In order for the change to happen, you can't just apply all of your passion and drive in a random direction and hope that that is the thing that... No. Start where you're at. Go slowly. Start with actually talking nice to yourself. First and foremost, you should be loving on yourself, okay? Love on yourself. You're all you got. When you leave this world, you'll be going with you, okay? You're who's with you up until the end. You were with you when you started, and you're with you until the end. So be nice to yourself along the way, okay? Yeah, and be here now. Again, this is the time to ground yourself into that energy. Find a way to bring your mind out of your mind, right? To stop spiralizing, to stop trying to outmaneuver your own chess game inside of your head, okay? And get into your body so that all of that excessive worrying energy has somewhere to go, and you can actually start using that big, beautiful brain of yours to find the next step and get creative, okay? Be here now. Don't try to be in the future healed and perfect. You'll deprive yourself of the journey of discovering who the hell you are along the way. Okay? And don't live off in the past, because if we live in the past, we never get to go to the future. Okay? So, that is what I have for you today. I hope that that's very helpful. I hope that it resonated with some of you, and love yourself, damn it. Okay? Yeah, I really hope that helps you, and that you're able to move forward and find your happiness, your peace, your joy, and go after your hopes and dreams. Like, actually, though, because you deserve it. If you would like a personal reading with me, I offer that at the link in my bio. If you're watching this on YouTube later, the link is in the description box below. Feel free to check it out, see if I vibe with you. What you get, it says a number of cards on it. That is just talking about the tarot. It also comes with the advice cards. It comes with runes, charms, dice, synchronicities, songs, all of it. Everything you saw today is what comes with the reading, okay? I'm considering adding other things for readings, like videos, but I haven't really decided on that yet. So you can check it out, see if I vibe with you. If I do not, and this is the last I see of you, then I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And I wish you all of the love, peace, joy, abundance, prosperity, and healing on your journey. Remember that life is an ever crooked path, and you are never off of it, okay? If you have chosen to follow me and you like my vibe, thank you, first and foremost. I wish all the same for you, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Thank you guys again for being here, for allowing me into your energy, for trusting me to be your reader. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.